So, okay, welcome to Vocal Blog, Armand Hutton. Many of you may know him from his career here with Naturally Seven as a bass singer with them. And I'm happy to have him with his own project now, which we will learn about during this interview. Great to have you here, Armand. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Cool. So you're down in Nashville. I'm here in Freiburg, Germany. So this is quite international. We've met before.
Small place.
Yeah, so we've met before face to face. That was not possible now, but it's great to have you as an interview. So, well, it's already a while ago since you started that new chapter in your career. Maybe for those of the listeners or viewers who don't know your career so well, maybe you can go a little bit back and tell how you got to into music basically, and then into vocal music, and what brought you here now.
No problem. Well, I've actually my mother is a professional gospel singer, so I'm going to take you all the way back. My mom sang professional gospel, and I used to sing with her a lot in concerts as she toured around the United States. And then I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, and so in that denomination, it has a rich heritage of a cappella singing. And one of the biggest influences that started in the 80s was Take Six. And everybody, after Take Six blew up, everybody wanted to sing, not just a cappella, but in their style. And they went to a college called Oakwood College in Huntsville, Alabama. And it's a pretty well-known college in my denomination. So I ended up going there. It's where my mom went. I went there and I started several a cappella groups. Did a lot of vocal arranging there. So that's where I got my arranging kind of chops up, was in Oakwood. While I was at Oakwood, a group called Naturally Seven called me to sing bass. And I really had no intention on singing career. I was always going to do composing and arranging, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And when they called me, I said, well, that sounds pretty cool. I think I'll do that. And that lasted for about almost a full decade, almost 10 years.
Yeah.
With them traveling around the world, singing with Michael Bublé, with Quincy and Quincy Jones and all those people, Coldplay. And it was really mind-blowing to see how big the a cappella community was. And that was the first time I had gone to even heard of Soul Jam and all of those things, and realized that almost every collegiate college and university in the U.S. at least had their own a cappella sound and group and things like that. And I never thought about that, and then let alone around the world.
Yeah.
And so I started with Naturally Seven in 2006. And then I had this feeling to do more arranging. I wasn't doing that much arranging and composing for Naturally Seven while I was in the group. But other people were asking me to do things. And so I said, you know what, if I stayed home, I could really focus in on not just starting my own record label, which I do now, called Hutton Records, but I could also do a lot of arranging and stuff. And one of the groups that asked me to arrange a song was Committed. Committed won the sing-off a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually personal friends of mine, and they also went to Oakwood College. So they asked me to do a song, a Christmas song for their Christmas EP they're putting out.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, I for some reason I was against it, but because they asked, I said, I'll do what they asked me to do. So I did a song, and actually I was on the road. Like, the song that I arranged, Do You Hear What I Hear, was arranged in several parts of the world.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly being in a hotel in South America, someplace, I think Argentina, and doing something. And then the next city we were in Sao Paulo or something.
Yeah,
so that song was really arranged around the world. And I don't really like the song, Do You Hear What I Hear? Because there's really no chorus. So there's no place to get back to.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever people sing it, they always modulate keys, and that's the only way to keep people interested, keep their ear interested. So there were several challenges with that. They had lost a member, so they went from 6 to 5.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, well, that now makes I have to fill up the spectrum with one less voice. And so, but it ended up being pretty good. They sang it perfectly and brilliantly.
Yeah.
And then, by just God's blessing, it got nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
The arrangement got nominated for a Grammy, and so from working with them, and then from a lot of Grammy voters and Grammy members saying, "Hey, man, we want to hear more stuff. We want to hear more arrangements." I really didn't have much of a repertoire, and so I said, "Well, why not do a full record of just my arrangements? I'll sing all the parts, I'll mix it all, but what I'll do is I'll do well-known songs, popular songs, and add and use the original voicing." So we'll get to that later, but that's the history.
So basically, after 10 years of touring, you just want a bit of focus on your work on arrangements and this creative work. Well, I know that you were touring like crazy in this all over the world, so there's basically no time to really like getting anything done in a like a full album or something.
It was interesting because the group did get a lot done, but for me, I found it rather draining. To pick up and leave, and there was no like creative space for me to sit down and say, okay, I couldn't work out things the way I wanted to. Other people do it very well, but the way that I operated, I couldn't be as creative as I wanted to be.
Yeah, I need a bit more home, private space and relaxation. Yeah. So that's very interesting, and so well, there's already a name for the project, I think, and there's also a song out. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, well, the name of the album is called What Could Have Been, the A Capella Mixtape. And the reason why it's called that is because what I did was full like hip-hop style with mixtapes. What they do with mixtapes and underground hip-hop stuff is they take original beats. Not original, they take beats that have already been put out and already popularized, and then they do their own rap lyrics around it.
Yeah.
And so what I did was with the A Capella Mixtape, I said, well, if I go the opposite direction and take popular songs and not just cover them, but take the original lead vocal for those songs and do my own arrangement, a cappella arrangement behind it. So that's what I did. I found a lot of a cappella vocals where somebody just stripped out all the music and just had the clean vocal of someone. And for instance, there's a Beyonce song on there, so I found a song where it was just her vocals. Then I put my own arrangement behind it. So that's why I put it mixtape.
So is that the first song you put out is Misty, a classical jazz standard?
The first song is Misty, and that's the only song that I'm actually singing the lead to.
Okay.
And the reason, and when we were with Michael Bublé, I did an arrangement for one of his albums called Star, and Naturally Said ended up singing it. And Michael, at first it was all a cappella, but Michael wanted his own style, maybe a light guitar here, a light piano here, which is fine. It's his record. He could do what he wants to do. I was just happy to have arranged something. But on the demo, I sang the lead. And I said to myself, you know what? That sounds pretty nice. Sounds pretty good. I've never explored the jazz range, like, the crooner type.
Yeah.
And so Misty was one of the songs that I learned at Oakwood. And I said, it'll be very nice to take Ella Fitzgerald's version and sing it the same exact way she sang it line to line, and do a cappella arrangement behind it. So that's what I did with Misty.
It's your very personal remix of fantastic songs. So of course the obvious question is that was a jazzy crooner piece. What else will be on the mixtape? Can you already tell me something?
I can already. It's done. I mean, I'm recording one song kind of as we speak, but it's the very last song, and it comes out in May. The album will be out on Bandcamp.com, so that you can just download it. Very, very simple. But there's a version of another thing. When I was with Naturally 11, one of the guys that we worked with, his name was Kevin Dean. He scored out for me Teen Town, the Weather Report song Teen Town.
Okay.
Yeah. He has the bass solo.
Oh, that's one of my favorite songs. That's cool.
Evan not only played it out for me, but he slowed it down to halftime so that I could learn it. And so I prepared it to put into the Naturally Seven show as a solo and never got around to it, even though I knew it. So I said, man, I'll do that for the album.
Yeah.
Do the full thing at full speed, and then do all the voices around it. So Teen Town is one of the songs.
Yeah, cool.
That's a fun one.
That's a quite spectacular mix with if you do Ella Fitzgerald, Beyonce, and a Weather Report piece. So that sounds very exciting. So
the one thing that draws it all together is that it's all vocal. You're going to get because of my heavy influence from Take Six and Cedric Denton, people like that. You're going to hear a lot of the tight harmonies.
Yep.
But then there's what I used to do in college when I would arrange for choirs and things like that. I used to stack a lot of chords on the top, like stack a chord on top really close, and then have a running bass line under it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of come back to my roots.
Yeah.
On one of the songs, that's actually a Michael Jackson song.
Okay, cool.
So I mean, it's a lot going on, but what ties it all together is as a cappella.
Yeah. So this is the current project, and we're excited. It's not so long until May, so keep us posted. We will of course link to in this blog post. I will link to the current to Misty, to the Misty version on YouTube. It's already out there. You can of course also Google it. You will find it. And well, if this is of course a kind of like a digital project that you do at home, and you probably need this now. But will there be an Armand Hutton on stage again in the foreseeable future?
To be honest, I started singing with some friends of mine here in town just as for fun. They do it professionally, but they wanted a bass singer, and they don't go as far. They don't travel like Naturally Seven.
Yeah.
They kind of just get together. But they're a group of Brazilian guys, and they sing Portuguese.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So I'm having to, and they sing in Portuguese, and they also sing in a style that I grew up with, the Gaither Vocal Band.
Uh-huh.
They sing a lot of their songs too. So for me, it's just fun to sing that stuff.
Okay.
And then try to sing it in Portuguese.
Yeah, so do some bossa nova and samba.
Yeah. It's not like I'm trying to make it another professional thing. I'm really taking the back seat because, as I mentioned earlier, I started a record label called Hutton Records. And my goal with that is to push more of the artists. Okay. So I arrange a lot of the music. I write some of it. But to really help them with their career. Yeah. The only reason why I'm doing this a cappella mixtape is just because it almost will serve as a business card and almost will serve as, okay, I just need to get this out.
Yeah, it's kind of like shows your competencies and your skills, and that is great. Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's just, of course we will miss you here over in Europe. So, but fortunately, there's at least Skype and some things on YouTube, so that we can enjoy it too. So, thanks very much. Is there anything else you want to tell me or the viewers about Mixtape and what they can do?
Well, right now there's a website called www.theacapellamixtape.com.
Okay.
And there you can find the single Misty. You can see the lyric video. And you also have an opportunity to download Misty without having to go to iTunes and download it. You can download Misty and with the option of pay with a tweet. Mm-hmm. And that'll allow you to download it for free. And the only catch is it just tweets that you heard the song.
Okay, so it's a kind of promotional start for the album. Yeah.
So that's the website, theacapellamixtape.com. And I'm on Facebook and stuff, so come and on Twitter, so come and holler at me and let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this album because it's the first one that I've done all by myself.
Yeah, it's cool. So we're very excited about this. Thank you very much for being here and taking the time. And we hope that, I think we will of course have a second interview somewhere in the future, and we'll be excited to hear the album actually when it comes. Thank you very much, Armand Hutton on Vocal Blog. Thank you.
Thank you.